St. Louis. So that is how big of a series Rosario is having for the Braves. And it was the first time for Atlanta that they had back-to-back home runs in the postseason since 2002, and that came against Game 2 of the NLDS against San Francisco. So that is how big of a game it was for the Braves last night. Now, last night, the Atlanta Braves were supposed to start Yaskar Ynoa. Well, he was scratched. So what does that mean going forward for the Atlanta Braves? Well, the Major League Baseball did allow a roster substitution for Ynoa. Dylan Lee was added to the roster. But Ynoa now, if the Braves do get a win tonight, Max Fried will start. The Dodgers are going to go with a bullpen game. Braves did a bullpen game last night. Ynoa will not be eligible for the World Series because they made a substitution for him last night. He will not be available for the World Series should the Braves advance. So that is the news there with Yaskar Ynoa.
Yeah, it was beautiful last night. Nothing like kicking the Dodgers' ass all night long from the second inning on and sending everybody home early. Of course, they're the biggest bandwagon jumping fan base in history anyway. I mean, it's not like most of them don't arrive till the third inning, and they usually leave by the seventh.
That is the Dodger fashionably late, fashionably early leave.
The ninth inning was beautiful, with Everyday Eddie Rosario hitting his second home run and watching the Clown Patrol hit the bricks as fast as they could. Now, of course, the Braves were here last year, 3-1 lead, and couldn't hold it. But I don't think this is the same Dodger ball club. I certainly don't think they're as deep. They certainly have Max Scherzer, but his arm right now is giving him some issues. And on short rest the other day, he basically said his arm was dead. And then you got no Clayton Kershaw, and Urias is obviously worn down as the season has gone on because the Braves have, gotten to him as a reliever and then as the starter last night. And with Urias struggling like he was, they still left him in through 5 innings. So obviously they weren't as confident in a bullpen game as the Braves were. And so I just think right now, even though the Braves finished well behind them in the standings and only won 88 games, the Braves are the healthier team and the Braves are the better team.
Yeah, and that's the thing. And L.A. was hoping to get some production from their starter last night. That did not happen.
Right.
They're going to go with a bullpen game today. Now, for the Dodgers, every time they have gone to a bullpen game, it has fared well for them. So we'll see what happens there. And in elimination games going back to last year, the Dodgers have been successful in elimination games. So it's not going to be an easy road for the Braves to put the Dodgers down. It's never easy to extinguish a team from the postseason because they're going to fight and fight and fight. But the Atlanta Braves have a great chance now because if you don't get a win tonight, you have 2 chances at home to advance to the World Series, which would be their first pennant in 22 years for the Atlanta Braves.
Hopefully it'll be a clinch tonight. I'd like to see it in Dodger Stadium. The Braves had lost, I think, their last 10 in Dodger Stadium until last night, and so hopefully the bats will stay hot. I mean, the outfield is swinging the bat. All of those guys contributed. Jock Peterson, certainly Adam Duvall, and then Everyday Eddie was unbelievable. And he's swinging the bat like I was hoping he would when the Braves got him because he was hurt when he was with Cleveland when they first made the trade. But I felt like of the 4 guys that he was probably the best player of those, and he certainly has gotten red hot in the postseason. Of course, Jock Peterson's had a bunch of clutch hits as well, and it's been good the last 2 games to see Freddie Freeman come out of it. There was people panicking because he was over his first 8 with 7 strikeouts, but he's a Hall of Fame player, and he's gotten 5 hits the last 2 games, including a bomb last night. So he's definitely seems like he's back swinging the bat well.
Yeah, Rosario's batting .588 in the NLCS, 10 of 17, 2 home runs, 6 RBIs for Rosario. So I'd imagine if the Braves do get a win, it's kind of hard not to make him the MVP of the series
two
by
of the
far.
home runs and 4 RBIs last night.
Yeah. So he's definitely leading the way probably
and I
for
think
your MVP.
In Game 2, when he got the walk-off, I think he had 4 hits in that game. So.
Yeah, he's the second player. Well, he's the first player to have 2 4-hit games in a league championship series. The only other one that had 4 hits in 2 games was Robin Yount, and he did it in 82 for the Brewers in the World Series against St. Louis.
Yeah, that was a heck of a run for Milwaukee, no doubt about it.
Yeah.
Robin Yount, one of the great players, Hall of Famer, shortstop, then a center fielder, just a tremendous athlete, no doubt about that, as Milwaukee had a really good year that year in 1982, no question about it. And the Braves trying to get back to the World Series, as you mentioned, for the first time since '99. I think this is a ball club right now that's hitting their stride at the right time. They got d'Arnaud back late in the season as well. It's been big to have him back behind home plate, and so and I think it was big last night. A.J. Minter did not have one of his greatest regular seasons, but he got, as a matter of fact, he got sent down. But since he came back up, he's thrown the ball much better, and he got 6 big outs last night. Drew Smiley got 10 outs, and so they were able to get some extended work from those 2 guys out of the bullpen game, and then Will Smith was able to pitch with a big lead in the 9th inning. It wasn't a high leverage situation when you're up 9-2, but it was good to get him in there to keep him sharp, and then they gave Luke Jackson the day off.
It's been a big talk around Major League Baseball. The Braves did use 6 pitchers last night to get the win, and not going with that traditional starter type of role. And it's been a big conversation around Major League Baseball this past season because a lot of teams are doing this, and that is what they call that quote-unquote bullpen game, where they don't throw a traditional starter out there. They throw a guy out there for an inning, and then they throw another one for 2, and then another one for 2 or 3. Good for baseball, bad for baseball.
Well, I mean, look.
Or is it just the way we're evolving?
It's just the way it is right now. And then the Braves certainly had planned on starting Ynoa. Now, Ynoa had not been nearly as good since he broke his hand and missed a few months and came back, but he couldn't go last night. So if you can't go, then you have to almost shorten your roster from a pitching standpoint sometimes in these playoff series, and then you lengthen your bench because you might need some extra options for pinch hitters and things of that nature. So you don't carry as many guys, and a lot of times. I think yesterday was the first time Luke hadn't pitched the whole postseason in a game. They go with the same guys. They high leverage it, and then Chavez is a guy that's a rubber arm anyway, and someone that can pitch, almost every day. He only pitched 1 inning, and I really thought the key to the game was Smiley because the Braves continued to add runs early, and he put up zeros, and he is a starter. I mean, if you look at his numbers, he's 11-4 with an ERA under 4. But the one thing he's done is give up a lot of home runs, but he did not last night. And so he's a guy in his career that has been a long reliever and a starter. So he's used to doing both, and so he can succeed in both roles. But it's just where baseball is. And look, and it's sometimes about the luck of the draw with health because the Dodgers don't have Clayton Kershaw. And speaking of injuries, they lost another big one last night, Justin Turner, who had not been swinging the bat great, but has been a great postseason player in the past. And he's got a grade 2 hamstring issue, and according to Dave Roberts, he's out for the series now. So the Dodgers are going to have to make a move.
Now you got to wonder, though, if the Braves do advance, the loss of Ynoa for the World Series, Braves will have to figure out how to stack the rotation for the World Series without him if they do so advance. All right, so that's your Major League Baseball, 256-576-4977. Who do the Braves play in the World Series if they can get that final win? Looking like the Houston Astros, they lead the Boston Red Sox 3-2. That series, though, is not even close to being over. I think that could go 7 We'll see how the Red Sox respond in that one. It's been a back-and-forth series
it has,
there.
But, I mean, since the ninth inning in Fenway a couple nights ago, where you saw the Astros explode for 7 runs and win it 9-2, they win. I think they ended up winning 9-1 yesterday. They have dominated the Red Sox in the last 24 hours plus, and now take a 3-2 lead going back to Houston. Boston's still very capable of coming back and at least forcing a 7th game, but all the momentum now has gone to the Astros, because it looked like if Boston could scratch a late run, across, they'd be up 3-1, and that dramatically changed. And so the Astros and Dusty Baker, who I think is hoping for a contract extension, I think he's in the last year of his deal, now basically need to take one of the next 2 to get back to the World Series. And they have been, a stalwart in the postseason for the past 5 years. They're used to winning, and certainly have. And the Red Sox, honestly, under Alex Cora, they've overachieved, because a lot of people, they were not very good last year without Cora.
Right.
And this year came in with middling expectations. I don't think a lot of people thought they were going to make the postseason, and then they knocked the Yankees out in the knockout game. And then they win the next series as well. So they've, against the Rays, who had the best record in the American League. So they've already surpassed what a lot of people thought they would do. But again, we'll see. They did win 2 in a row after losing Game 1, and they had a lead in Game 1 for much of it. So it's been a competitive series, but Houston's kind of flexed their muscles the last 2 games. So we'll see what happens. But they got an off day today, as they travel back to Houston for Game 6.
All right, that is your Major League Baseball update, 256-576-4977. You can get in on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline this morning. Coming up on the show, we got to talk some NFL. We got to talk Bob Bowlesby, still fuming about Oklahoma and Texas leaving for the SEC. I got to read you his latest comments. And Alabama taking on Tennessee on Saturday. Here's a little bit of Alabama head coach Nick Saban's comments yesterday.
I think, lower body explosion, explosive quickness, those are important components to playing any position in football. The more you can generate power from your lower body, but it's not just having strong legs, it's having flexibility, being able to explode out of your hips so that you can take advantage of that. It's important in playing offensive line. It's important playing defensive line. It's important playing outside linebacker relative to it's great to have speed and be a speed rusher, but turning speed to power, you need that kind of lower body explosion to be able to do that. It usually impacts your initial quickness, and obviously the faster you can move, the inertia of that is what generates power as well. So I think it's really critical at any position, but Will is certainly a guy that has great lower body explosion, initial quickness, and that's been a real advantage for him in his development as a really productive player.
Okay, we'll go to Michael Casagrande.
Yeah, Tennessee has one of the better running offenses in the nation. What makes them so effective or unique in that game?
Well, I think that they go fast, so people have to get lined up and be ready to play. I think they got a really good runner, and I think their quarterback's ability to run, contributes to that in terms of quarterback run. So when they run the zone play, he's very capable. If you try to cheat the end on the dive, the quarterback's going to pull the ball, and they've been very effective at doing that, and they're very well coached. So they don't usually do it and make bad plays. They usually do it and make very positive plays. So they've got quarterback runs, they've got quarterback draws. They get you spread out and run those plays, which is very challenging for the people up front. So and they've got ability to throw the ball. So you can't just say we're going to play the quarterback runs because they've made a lot of explosive plays in the passing game because the vertical stretch of the field. And when they get you spread out, they'll spit it out there if you don't have enough guys out there, and make positive plays as well. So this offense is very challenging.
Nick Saban there breaking down a little bit of that Tennessee offense and the problems that the running game could present on Saturday.
Much like Ole Miss, it's just almost a carbon copy. You've got to stop the run first. They base everything off the run, just like they do with the Rebels and Lane Kiffin. And it's almost a play action or RPO type game as well. So you have to do. And I think honestly, Hendon Hooker has given them some stability at the quarterback position and some efficiency, but he's not the passer that Matt Corral is.
Is he a better runner than Matt Corral?
No. He's not a better player. He's not a better runner. He's not a better thrower. He's not a better quarterback. So even if he was healthy, Tennessee would be, in a little bit of a quandary there, because I think Alabama's seen this. I think they know how to defend it, and if they're locked in, then I think they could, definitely, slow down Hendon Hooker. But now I will say this: Joe Milton is a better runner than Hendon Hooker. He's faster, he's bigger, but he's not the passer. And so, but as we saw, Zach Calzada was struggling big time before he faced Alabama, and then he morphed into Steven Garcia for a day and, threw for 285 yards that nobody saw coming. So Joe Milton could have the game of his life. So Alabama needs to be locked in. They need to have somebody spying the quarterback because they do a lot of direct runs with the QB. And with Joe Milton, if you take away his initial read, he has a tendency to take off. So you got to be able to defend the run, got to be able to slow the QB down. If you're Alabama, and put them in some down and distance situations that are, not, conducive to them moving the ball. And if you do that, and I'm assuming Joe Milton's going to be the QB, then you can maybe get some turnovers. Milton has tended to do that. He's tended to fumble as well. Will Anderson coming off that edge. You just heard Nick Saban talking about the career he's had so far.
Yeah.
He's the Bronco Nagurski, National Defensive Player of the Week. 4 sacks and 6 tackles. So he should definitely be a big factor in the game against the Vols.
All right. There is one team that is not playing this Saturday, and that is the Auburn Tigers. Mm-hmm. Brian Harsin on his coach's show yesterday mentioning that he is going to, 1, recruit, 2, spend some time with the family, and 3, watch some college football on TV. No doubt he is going to watch a little bit of the Tennessee-Alabama game, probably some of the Ole Miss game as well. But coming up next, though, we will talk some Auburn Tigers. Brian Matthews needs to help us out a little bit and assess where the Auburn Tigers are heading in to the bye week. Are they where he thought they would be?
You're listening to Talkin Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Have you ever found exactly the right new car or truck with the exact features that you want and nothing else? Well, at Woody Anderson Ford, we can promise you just that. Hey, Bobby White back again, and you can now factory order your new Ford today, and you'll get your new car or truck exactly the way you want it. And there's no extra cost to custom order. Plus, you get $1,000 off MSRP on top of any additional factory rebates. This applies to 2021 F-150, Explorer, Ranger, and Expedition. It's a win-win with a custom order at Woody Anderson Ford. You get the colors, the features, and the options that fit your life. Plus, you get notified when it's built, shipped, and ready to deliver. Listen, buying a new car or truck is likely the second largest investment you'll ever make. So why settle? Get exactly what you want with a custom factory order today and get $1,000 off MSRP. See how at WoodyAndersonFord.com or at the corner of Jordan Lane and Sparkman Drive. Hope to see you soon.
Chapman Commercial Realty, your source for Alabama commercial real estate. Chapman Commercial Realty has the experience and expertise you're looking for when making commercial real estate decisions. If it's office space, retail space, investment property, or project development, Chapman Commercial Realty is your answer. Call Bill Chapman today at 256-656-8413. That's 256-656-8413. Or find them online at chapmancommercialrealty.com.
Tired of the same old menu options everywhere you go? Then you need to try Metro Diner in Huntsville and Madison. The award-winning Metro Diner serves up signature dishes like their Charleston shrimp and